Hello, my name is Martin Schlenker, and I'm here in the wonderful city of Toledo, Ohio. Toledo has historically been known as the glass manufacturing capital of America. And there's much more than glass making that is thriving here in this Northwest Ohio city today. There are numerous corporations and manufacturing sites finding success here in Toledo, including one called Jaws International, which I will be featuring in this video. JAWS is an acronym for Just Add Water System, and they are on a mission to protect the environment with effective and concentrated cleaning products using safer chemical ingredients. How exciting! It's now time for me to share with you the story of JAWS International. And in this video, we'll also dive into the company's manufacturing and distribution practices. So stay tuned until the end, where we show you exactly how JAWS products are made right here in their Toledo facility. I was honored when the team at JAWS invited me to their headquarters for the making of this video. And I knew that no one would be better at sharing the story of JAWS than Bruce Yacko. Bruce is the CEO of JAWS, and here he is.
Hi, Bruce Yacko, President and CEO of JAWS International. Really excited to be sharing this with you today in front of our Toledo facility, and really excited about our world of JAWS and our ability to share it with you. And here with my good friend Martin, who's going to be interviewing us today about JAWS International, its origins, and why it exists.
Bruce, thank you for having me here today.
It's a pleasure.
What were the origins of JAWS International?
Well, we decided long ago, several years ago, that we would find a way to address the plastic bottle pollution issue that we're dealing with on both a professional and also on a consumer level. We were dumping billions of bottles in landfills all over the world. And we had at that time one ocean, the Pacific Ocean, filled with plastic bottles. And since that time, there's 7. And we decided that it's time to reuse that package. We talk about recycling as the answer. It's not. Think about how much energy we use and how much oil we waste in moving things back and forth until it finally gets back into somebody's cabinet. And so we said, let's reuse that bottle. And in order to do that, we had to find an intuitive, exacting way of providing a super concentrated solution that was safer for the environment and those using it and the surfaces they were intended to be used on. And as a result, we came up with the JAWS cartridge, which is a child-resistant cartridge, about the size of a roll of nickels, that you use that bottle over and over again. If you take care of it, it'll last you 1,000 years, Martin. So just take care of it, and it'll probably be the last bottle you need to buy.
Wow, that's incredible. You mentioned you started, and at that time, the Pacific Ocean was getting filled up with bottles. Since then, we've got all the oceans, not to mention that the Gulf of America has one of the highest concentrations of plastics of any large body of water.
But I do know that's a fact. And as you look at all the streams and the ecostructure we have across this land, where do you think they go? Into rivers? Where do those rivers go? Bigger rivers. Where do those bigger rivers go? They go into oceans. And when they go into oceans and we discard plastic the way we do, by the billions of pounds every year, where do you think it's going to end up? But they're and deposit it down there in the Gulf of America.
That's right. Yeah. I was surprised when I started reading about it last week. I had no idea. So give us a brief overview of the product. Is it really as easy for the user as just add water?
Well, I'm going to show you that in a minute, how easy it is, how much fun it is, and how significant it will be. And we'll talk a little bit more about the products in terms of why people want to use them, why they were really designed. It's not just that the cartridge is cool, it's fun, it's impactful, it's really innovative, but the formulas that we developed and made sure they were Safer Choice certified so that they could be used by the consuming public on a professional level as well as in the home, that would work well on all those surfaces that we now have in the home. No longer do we have Formica white countertops. We have stainless steel refrigerators. We have cooktops. We have microwaves. We have granite, marble, and all that other stuff. So designing modern day products for the modern day home and do it in a way that's safe, fun, and efficient without leaving streaks behind or fuming is really what we were all about in terms of designing our JAWS system in the first place.
That's great. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, great. Well,
Okay.
welcome to Toledo.
Thank you.
All right.
So, Bruce, I see the Canberra branding here. Tell me about Canberra.
Well, Canberra is the company behind Jaws. We have 300,000 square feet of manufacturing here. We've been involved in the cleaning business for the past 65 years. And so we have a lot of experience. We have a lot of great customers all over the world that we support through our Canberra initiative. But Jaws is one of its brands and one of its important brands.
You mentioned that it's used by customers all over the world. So
Yep.
households and what other types of organizations are using it?
There's not an industry that you can see on this planet that hasn't either used or continued to use Jaws. So we've sold over 170 million cartridges over the last 8 years to companies all over the world, from Europe to Australia to the Middle East and across the US, Canada, and Mexico that continue to be great customers of ours. Actually, 68%, Martin, of anybody that's ever used Jaws continues to buy it today. So every year we continue to grow. But whether you're a fast food restaurant, you're a school system, you're an airport, a manufacturing facility, really right across the board, we have those as customers on the commercial side of our business. We started there. Our first customers in Australia was Woolworths, as well as another large OEM company, multi-billion-dollar company that markets its product to the trade over there in terms of businesses. But at the end of the day, people get it, they like it, they enjoy using it. And again, if we didn't start with a way that people like the way the products work, why would you buy another cartridge? So foundationally, I think we really made some great decisions in terms of building modern chemistry, built for the modern day business and the modern day home, that works beautifully and really to the delight of those that involve with it.
Sounds like they're very happy with it. And you mentioned that it's easy to use, these products. Tell us about the easy
Well, Martin, if you couldn't figure a way to make this work, you shouldn't leave the house. All you're going to do is fill up the bottle. Now, when you buy it in a store, it's a full bottle because that's what people buy. In a commercial sense, or if you're buying it online, you can buy it through Amazon, jawscleans.com, Walmart.com, But at the end of the day, if you're buying it online, it's an empty bottle. Why ship water when you need to? But at the end of the day, when you get done with your first bottle, all you're going to do is fill it up with water, drop the cartridge in. When you tighten down on the sprayer, releases the concentrate into the water, and voila, it's all done. And it's not a pill or a tablet that takes 10 minutes to break down or a baloney tube that takes 15 minutes to break down. It's immediate. So on the professional level, I'm being paid to clean. I'm not being paid to watch this thing break down, and hopefully it does, and sometimes it doesn't, whatever. I want it to work. So shake it twice and go to work, and you're done.
So you're telling me that once this turns blue, we're ready to
ready to go. That glass cleaner is ready to go. And it's not just a glass cleaner, Martin. To sell a modern day product in the modern day business that has alcohol, ammonia, or butyl in it that you can't use on a big screen TV, computer screen, iPad, iPhone, all the plastic surfaces, because there's nothing in there that's going to destroy the screen. You're doing it to clean the screen so you can see what's on TV or see what's on your computer. So having a product that you can use for the next 100 years on that surface that'll never do damage to it, will not streak, will remove the dust and the particle and the fingerprints and everything else that's on it, and do it in a very modern way where there's no fume from the ammonia or the alcohol, that we can use on all, whether it be hot glass, cold glass, inside glass, automotive glass, UV coated glass like they have in cars, and businesses. There's no things to attack the adhesive nor the plastic. So it really is a very modern day cleaning program designed for those that are using it today. And if you're spraying something and you choke, it means your body is resisting it and is wrong. You will not see that in any of the Jaws products, including the bathroom cleaner.
And that's strong because a lot of the bathroom cleaners are ones that I would not want to breathe for more than 5 minutes.
Hey, you spray it and you run for your life. It's pretty, it's nice. It all kind of works the same way. Here's our bathroom cleaner. Take a sniff. And I would never have you.
Much different than what I'm used to at the store.
It just smells great. It's a nice lavender fragrance. It foams up beautifully. It works on any of the bathroom surfaces. Will not attack the chrome and the other stuff there because it doesn't. But it does a beautiful job at removing the mineral scale that you have on the glass doors. It does a beautiful job at removing any of the organics that you have on your wall from your soap scums and soap films and body stuff and whatever. But it does a beautiful job, but you can spray it and just smile.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's, again, modern day cleaners for the modern day home and business.
So, Bruce, I see on the website that the tagline is "Stop shipping water. It's the right thing to do." Tell me more about that.
Well, absolutely. So most of the cleaners you find on your shelves in the store are 96, 7, or 8% water. So we are shipping water all over the planet. You don't need my water. You have your own water. What you need is a refillable bottle and a way of accessing that bottle with delivering chemistry to make your own cleaning products. But shipping water all over the world the way we do it, we don't have those kind of minerals. We don't have that kind of luxury anymore to go down that path like we had 50 years ago when gas was 25 cents a gallon. It's not that way anymore. So when you talk about things, our whole concept in JAWS, it had to be right for the retailer or the business. It had to be right for the consumer or the worker or the user cleaner. It had to be right for the environment or it wasn't going to work. And we fit all of those and it'd be economical to boot. So we hit all those boxes and checked all those off as we developed this thing. But Martin, this is 24 quarts. 24 of these bottles is here. It weighs 1.5 pounds. It weighs less than this bottle does. I can put 1 million of these on a container and ship them to Toledo for nothing versus 16,000 of these.
Wow.
And this cubes out before it weighs out. That container only weighs 24,000 pounds in a 40,000 pound container. So when you talk about densifying shelves and store shelves, you don't build buildings for $9 a foot anymore. So if I could put 1 million cartridges in the space that I now have 16,000 quarts, the savings are astronomical. Walmart figures that if they were to go this way and were able to take a 37-foot area of cleaners and bring it down to 27, they've just saved themselves $10 billion. Wow. Never mind how long. All right, so this is the shelf unit. This is for retail shelves. I'm putting one of these down versus 24 of these.
Huge difference.
How much manpower, how much shelf space, how many warehouse slots do I in? How many trucks do I need? How many people do I need to move it all? Versus putting down one of these in the same space on the shelf that it takes for this. Or if it's in your warehouse or if you're traveling. And the other beauty that we have here is that you can make this anywhere you want. As long as you have a water source, you can make a next bottle of cleaner. So when are you going to run out? If you're a home cleaning unit, you're going to run out on the first home, the second home. Some houses are bigger, some are smaller, some have more glass, some have less. So having the ability to on the fly remake product, do it quickly, and it's fun.
It was fun.
So what we're talking about is a universal sea change. And I think once we do this, it's like you driving down the car and you have 3 tires on it, and all of a sudden somebody puts a 4th wheel tire on there and you just, that's what we're doing here. There's no coming back. This innovation is so important and impactful for anybody that gets involved with it. And the environment's going to win in a huge way, because what happens to this cleaner when it gets off your shelf and you rinse it off and it goes into the aquifer?
Recycling.
We're worried about the plastics, right? And all that. Well, what about the liquid that's going down that drain too?
That's right.
So making sure that that's safe for the aquifer and making sure this doesn't go into the aquifer.
That's the thing. I've always thought of, okay, it gets recycled, it's easy. What I found out from a recent video I had done is I was told that recycling a water bottle or a spray bottle is not as easy as I would have thought. could have a couple different types of plastics. They need to account for some contamination. So, like you said, it leads to things going into the aquifer.
Absolutely. And Martin, not only that, I fill up this bottle halfway with oil. That's what it took to get it from wherever filled into a store, into your car, into your house. So then what we do, because we're recycling, we're sending it back to the recycler. He's putting it back into pedals to make the bottle. He's shipping it back to a guy like me to fill. I'm shipping it back to the store. You're taking it from the store to your house. I fill up this bottle 2 times with oil. Never mind all the energy and all the other waste that took to recycle it, reuse it. It's a heavy-duty bottle. It's designed for long-term use. In the professional world, they don't throw them away. There's a tool. So you paid for it. Why throw it away? It doesn't make sense. Reuse it. But you need something like this to do that with. You can't do it without things like this. And this is the best. This was the first, and this is the best way of doing that we know of.
So, Bruce, you mentioned that the not shipping liquid is an amazing thing for the transportation. And not only that, but also for the storage, whether in a retail store or even in a warehouse. And when you think about various supply chain related functions, including those things, but also things like demand management and inventory management, as well as maybe some of the data, which ones of those types of things do you think are gaining the most efficiency by not shipping liquid?
Yeah, I'd like to say one is more important, one you gain more from than the other. I really can't. When you think about the cartridge and the concept and what it's offering in all of those areas, how impactful it really is to a store, a business, a consumer. And as a result, I can't put my finger on, we can take it to manufacturing. I can run 100 million cartridges in 3,000 square feet. I need 300,000 square feet for that.
That was actually the function I forgot to mention.
So from a manufacturing vantage point and all that, it all just, everything becomes smaller, everything becomes more efficient, everything becomes easier to manage, everything becomes less expensive to engage with. And as I say, I'll always come back to the way the cleaners work, because that efficiency, whether it be somebody who's cleaning a mirror, and we designed it for the guy that's cleaning 500 mirrors a day, not for the person at home, for one. And think about the efficiency you're talking about in terms of the performance of the product. Being able to wipe once and it go free. And you think about how many glass cleaners you've used through your lifetime, where you spend all this time trying to clean but from an efficiency vantage point, from a manufacturing vantage point, from a distribution, from a warehousing, from a selling, from a loading, from a using, you win in all those categories. Chrysler estimated it saved them over $1 million a year because this is for the day. You're not going to get 30 of these. You're going to get one. And tomorrow, come see me and I'll give you another one. Well, the other ways about it, you can't do that. And so it's a cost driver, it's a cost saver, because think about how much money it costs me to do one of these, ship, store, versus one of these and this.
It's like night
or that. It's night and day. It just is.
Yeah. And that's why large corporations are using it, as you said, and even it sounds like government, military, and any type of organization I could imagine is in the market for these products.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd like to say there's not an industry we can't serve, but there isn't one.
Right. There's also another supply chain related topic that is something that it seems to be important and can be very difficult, and that's demand planning. And I see that your company is selling these products through jawscleans.com, homedepot.com, as well as other e-commerce sites and brick and mortar stores. And do you think that demand management could be easier or harder for any one of those channels?
I think it's easier in all of those channels. Think about, if you're putting one of these on your shelf, you've got 24 that are there. You've got 2 boxes. You've got 48. You're good for the month. If you sell 48 cartridges in a month's time on a shelf, it's pretty darn good. And so having one case that you're putting out versus all these other cases is really a very efficient way about going about your business. And it's easy to manage these pieces versus how many cases of product do I need to fulfill that 24 bottles of cleaner.
That's another thing that's like night and day.
Yeah.
Not having to deal with all of that.
Sure, absolutely. No, without a doubt.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to share, whether about JAWS or leadership or operations, before we go on?
Yeah. Well, it's been my wife. She said, Bruce, you're 60 years old. What are you doing? What are you starting a new division within the Canberra for? Isn't it kind of time to, and my whole thing was, this is a give back. This is something I want to give back to the planet. If we can make this wholesale change and change the way the world cleans with JAWS, the world is going to be better for it. And we're going to leave a better world to our kids and grandkids, not just because the products are safer. And I haven't said anything about Safer Choice certification. We won their Partner of the Year award 2 years in a row, 24 and 2025.
Was that the EPA related?
The EPA, yes. Yep. And Safer Choice says, we're going to look at all the chemistries you have listed on your bottle. And then we're going to break those chemistries down into subcategories. And we're going to look at all those chemistries to make sure that they conform to our Safer Choice chemistry requirements. And then after you do all that work and all that effort, then you have to perform as well as anything on shelf. And if you don't have the performance and you don't have the chemistry, safer chemistry, they will not let you use their mark. And not only have we got that on the cross of the line of products you see back behind me, but we won their Partner of the Year twice, 2 years in a row.
Wow.
Which is huge.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I agree.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for telling me about the company and sharing with me your story.
Well, thank you for coming and listening and being interested in it. And jawscleans.com, don't forget that. And we could run over 100 million cartridges a year, so don't think we can't service you. And during the pandemic, we shipped out hundreds and millions of cartridges to people that couldn't find disinfectants on store shelves. And we have a neutral disinfectant designed for all kinds of surfaces, will not streak. It is a hospital-grade disinfectant to do a million different things. In the hospital, you never know what diseases and things are going to show up, so you have to have a plethora of things that, from funguses to viruses to... And so we were able to satisfy, and people were getting product in 2 days when they couldn't find it on the shelves in 2 weeks.
That's right.
So it was huge. I can't tell you how many great, wonderful letters we got from people who were just desperate for disinfectants during that time frame. I couldn't find a lot of these.
Hard to.
I could build a lot of these, and that's what we shipped.
I saw a video where you mentioned some of the hard work your team did during 2020.
Oh, we were working, folks. We were working 7 days a week, 3 shifts a day. We had over 350 people working in here. And all my friends said, hey, Bruce, why aren't you home? Why aren't you hiding from the pandemic? I said, no, if I've got 350 people working in this building, I'm going to be here every day. We're all in this together. And we used our disinfectant to disinfect our facility, but we only had 6 people get sick during that entire period.
Wow. That's incredible.
Out of that number.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I was proud of our team, proud of what they accomplished and all that other stuff. But it did my heart so good to know how many letters and people we helped during that period that were just freaked out beyond freaked out and got them the product they needed.
All right, everyone, this is the part you've been waiting for. It's time for us to see part of the production process. The first machine system I saw was the feeder. Watch here as the empty cartridges go up the elevator and then into the feeder bowl. There you see the feeder bowl rotating, moving the cartridges along, before the empty cartridges then get to the linear feeder. There's the linear feeder moving the empty cartridges horizontally. Then the cartridges get moved to the filling machine. Here it is, where the cartridges are being filled. Watch closely. While in this area, I was introduced to an enthusiastic team member named Bo. Bo told me more about what these machines were doing. And I asked Bo if he wanted to make a cameo appearance in this video, and he was more than happy to. There he is in the long-sleeved navy blue shirt. Thanks, Bo. And there you have it, an Ohio-based manufacturer making clean and effective cleaning products and shipping them all over the world without shipping water. It's another fantastic example of good quality American manufacturing.